Hey everyone, Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. I'm sitting down with Laurie from Path of the Pale Rider to talk about your latest Kickstarter for your indie comic. What first drew you to comics?
You know, it's funny. I didn't start reading comics until I was a young adult, like college age. So I was reading, the first thing I ever read that interested me was The Watchmen.
Okay.
I wasn't really,
gateway book.
yeah, I wasn't really into the superhero thing. I like the complicated characters, the ones that are dark and have a hidden, agenda and stuff like that. So it's like I read that. We used to read. My husband used to read DC. But basically Batman. The Killing Joke was really influential. And then of course we found Image. So it was like Walking Dead, East of West, Saga, Invincible. A lot of Robert Kirkman, but a lot of Image, because they have some really great titles.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of drew me to reading comics. The way I got into comics is kind of a weird. I'll make a long story short. I'm a martial artist, been doing martial arts for a long time. 2017, I was managing a fight team. So we were choreographing short films. Basically, any production company that wanted us to come fall down or teach their people a certain stunt, a fighting style, we knew someone that could do that. So we would just pull from this giant pool of martial artists. I wrote a short film called Catfishing, which was very heavy martial arts. And then the production company asked me to write webisodes for them, which I wrote a short series called The Agency, which again is very martial arts heavy, but it was like espionage and traitors and spy versus spy. So that was kind of like my first taste of writing like sequential story, right? And then I had the idea for Path of the Pale Rider back in 2018, and I started writing that as a full-length movie under the title Dead West. But we decided we didn't want to turn it into, I was being told to pitch it to Netflix, and I'm a big chicken. I didn't want to, I didn't know how to do it. Even after researching it, it's pretty difficult.
Right.
And I was like, I don't want to lose creative control. Yeah, it's brand new. No one's read it. No one knows my characters. And I would hate for them to take it and turn it into something completely different. And I can't stop them,
Right.
So my husband and I, at that point, were already reading comics, right? We were reading Image, and he was just like, this is a comic book. And I was like, light bulb. Like it turned on. At that point, I was like, yes, it is. We can totally do this. So I broke it up into issues, and we started looking into an artist team in about 2020. And I met Marco. We met through a Facebook group connecting comic book writers and artists. He sent me like a sketch of what he thought Jude St. Clair would look like. And that was it. I was like, you're hired. So we've been making comics. We kickstarted our first issue March of 2022 and published July of 2022. So that's when, we started running, and we've been doing issues every 6 months. And so the one that we're on right now is our first trade paperback. It's the collection of issues 1 through 4. So in the big scheme of the arc, it's like if it was a movie, it would be like the first act. Okay. So there's 12 issues of the first arc. There is a second arc and there is a third arc, and then it's over.
You mentioned the artist, and that's what really drew me to the comic the first time, is just seeing that image. Like the art it's very unique, but it also had a lot of familiar elements, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Marco's style is something I would say is an in-between. He's influenced by anime and manga, but very much Western comics as well. And so you're going to see things like it's in between the two. He has his really unique style, but Marco is so talented when it comes to relaying human emotion. We had some really powerful moments that happen where people question their humanity in this story. And I've never had a problem with Marco being able to convey those really difficult emotions. The sadness, the curiosity, the wonder of where we go next, panic, all of that. It just comes through in his art to the point where it's like, sometimes I don't even put any letters on the page. I just let his emotions play through.
Already, but you probably like the elevator pitch.
In Path of the Pale Rider, death has been broken. So what that means is your body can die, but your soul doesn't leave your body upon death. You are in it as you decay. And it's people, animals, insects. Nothing gets to leave. We're all stuck here together. There is no death. There's only decay. And when we start the story, we're 10 years into the apocalypse. We're following a cowboy because things have devolved back to the Wild West. And he's like the last cowboy still looking for the answer of what broke death. Why did the dead no longer die? And so that's what kind of sets us apart for a few different reasons. One, we have zombies, but they're not flesh-eating, brain-craving people. It's you, it's me. Like, you can die in your sleep and wake up in the morning and have no clue that you're dead. And it hits everybody differently. So as you're decaying and your brain is rotting, you could get forgetful. You can get violent. You could be vegetative. You could be real funny, maybe. I don't know. It just it's different for everybody. Kind of like if it was dementia and fast forward, but your body is also actively rotting. It's gross. And I've read so many things and watched so many things where the main character is just interested in survival. They don't really focus on the why or what happened. And it's a virus, but how? And is there a cure? Or you know what I mean? They just don't care. So that's what this is. We're in this very chaotic world, the questionable ethics, question your humanity kind of world. But there's still a guy who's out there looking for the answer.
Plus, the world's that far gone. So even with something that could lead to a solution, it's like, well, is it too late?
Is it too late? Is it even possible? You know?
Yeah.
And then how do you deal with that?
I'm also always impressed when I see someone who found a way to do zombies fresh again.
Yeah, it's something different.
So all of this is on Kickstarter currently.
Yep, day 3. We funded in 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is great. I mean, it's all bonus from here. I got cool merch, but I also got really cool stretch goals on this one. But it's so easy to get sucked into the story on this one. It's like you read issue 1 and you're just in it. You'll get sucked in if you give us a try. I love this cover. Marco DeFeo did the cover. So, of course, it's our main character, Jude St. Clair. In the background, that circle, that's that disc that has the heartbeat on it. So that green line is the heartbeat. It's the living line, which turns into the path that Jude is walking. So
that's cool.
Lots of cool symbology in that. And then, of course, Path of the Pale Rider with our non-official mascot Big James the undead bear in the letters, because like those 3 things, like Jude and Big James and the disc with the living line, is kind of like us in a nutshell. It's past kind of imagery. One thing that's interesting about the trade is that we originally produced issue 1 in black and white because as an indie creator, first time you do a comic book, that's, just depends on what you can afford. So we went back for the trade paperback, and our colorist, Matt Chambers, did issue number 1 in color, and I relettered it as well. So it's now all 4 issues in color. It's a cohesive book. But this is the first time you can see that in color, which is pretty cool. This is the question I get asked all the time, is like, why a trade paperback? Your 4 issues are out and people already have them, but why? Why produce a book? Well, again, for the reason that when I wrote this, it was a full-length movie, and I intended it to be read as one time. You sit down, you read the whole thing. So when you read issues 1 through 4 in one fell swoop, it makes much more sense than, waiting 6 months in between issues. So if people are just finding us now, this is a great way to get, into Path of the Pale Rider. And then the trade paperback is 148 pages total. Oh, the slice and dice. I pull the audience. I pull the backers, and they get to pick 2 things. One, they get to pick a name for the pumpkin or watermelon or fruit or whatever we pick to destroy. They get to name it. And they also get to pick a weapon. Because I'm a martial artist, I have a plethora of swords, knives, you name it. And they vote on how they want me to destroy this thing. And then I have a podcast on Tuesdays, and I go on my live stream and I destroy it. And we just laugh. I dress up as Pikachu for some reason that stuck, and it makes no sense, but we have a blast. I really want to light something on fire first and then destroy it. So that'll be coming. I found this really cool fireplace powder that will turn your flames like green and purple. So I was like, we could light something on fire first and then smash it. So this is at 3,500. So that's definitely doable. Funds for this project go towards 50% towards the print job. And everything else, merch, Kickstarter fees, credit card fees, and shipping. That's it. We put a pre-order up in my ASAP collection. You can get all these digital, but you can get a physical of this. So if you're in the Netherlands or Australia or the UK, you can get a physical copy. Canadian as well, because ASAP has a branch in Canada. And it's probably cheaper to do it that way than if I had to ship it to you from Texas. The link's readily available. The PDF copy is great because you can just immediate, right? As soon as all the credit cards go through, I can send this because it's done. It'll go to print immediately. If you want that physical experience, you want to smell the book, feel the book, everything, you can get a copy here. So we keep things new and different, we put a lot of thought into what we put on our campaigns. Our goal is usually 4,550. That's what we need for an actual issue to produce art from scratch. So this one, the art's already done. And so I figured, some for the merch and then the rest for the print, but 2,000 seems plenty. And then whatever we have over that, it's like, we'll just print more books and start working on the next one. There's no breaks. There's no rest.
No,
we just want to make comics.
Got to keep going.
Yeah, we just want to make comics. We got lots more issues to do. Yeah, we just want it to continue to grow because that helps us move forward with issue 5, issue 6, wherever we go. The bigger the bonus, and then we can unlock some really cool stretch goals. If you want to do more research on us, you can always go to our website. Our website is kind of our hub, which will take you to all the other things. The website is www.pathofthepalerider.com, and that will take you to any which place. We do have a store there. So if for whatever reason someone's watching a replay and we're not actively campaigning, you can get all of our things from that website as well. Find me on Tuesdays. I host a podcast called the Tuesday Morning Brew on the Madness Network. It's the comic related Madness Network. I also host a show on Wednesdays called Any One World Showcase.